My name is Allie Wadsworth. I'm a certified breastfeeding counselor and I own Beehive Breastfeeding Company. A certified breastfeeding counselor provides breastfeeding education to new mothers as well as mothers who have breastfed before but would like assistance. I'm a student at Salt Lake Community College in their nursing program as well as an IBCLC intern at the Sandy Clinic. I started out as a birth doula and I became certified through an IBCLC's education course about a year ago, and now I'm on track to get my IBCLC next spring. I do this because I like to help mothers in their own environment learn with the tools they have to be successful at breastfeeding. Originally, I wanted to become a certified nurse midwife, but along the way I stumbled upon an IBCLC named Julie Manley Johnson, and she inspired me to want to work with new mothers with breastfeeding. In 2011, when I was pregnant with my daughter Ivy, I had a doctor that wouldn't listen to me. I kept telling him how sick I was, and he would brush off my concerns as silly or untrue. And it got to the point where I stopped feeling her move and no one was paying any attention to me. So I switched to a midwife and she listened thoroughly to all of my concerns and said, "We need to check you into the hospital right now. You have protein spilling into your urine," which was a sign of preeclampsia. I was in the hospital for 10 days before I had her. At 3 in the morning, they came in to check my blood pressure and it was 210/190, which was enough to kill me. They were surprised I was talking, let alone speaking in coherent sentences. They got me right down to labor and delivery, and within 2 hours, I was in the operating room having an emergency cesarean 16 weeks before my due date. Ivy was 1 pound 4 ounces the day she was born, 12 inches long. She was about as big as a Barbie doll and about as heavy as a pack of butter. She had a 117-day NICU stay, and it was an absolute roller coaster ride. But through the whole thing, I was pumping, using a breast pump every 2 hours for those 15 weeks. And no one should ever have to do that, especially when their supply dropped like mine did. And I wish someone would have been there to tell me that it was okay that I stopped. Because the day that I stopped, I felt like I stopped doing everything I could to help her. And that's just not true, and no one should ever feel like that. One thing that I would like all mothers to know is that breastfeeding is not a one-size-fits-all practice. Just as every pregnancy is different, every breastfeeding relationship is different. You could have 6 children and each one would be different breastfeeding. I would also like them to know there's absolutely nothing wrong if either you can't exclusively breastfeed your child or you don't want to. There's nothing wrong with that. And as a certified breastfeeding counselor, I don't only support breastfeeding relationships. My #1 rule is that baby gets calories. My #2 rule is that mom is happy with the situation. Every new mother should know where their information is coming from. Make sure you're talking to either an IBCLC, which is an international board-certified breastfeeding counselor, or a lactation specialist that is a pediatrician, or a certified breastfeeding counselor. I had 100 in-classroom hours, 14 college courses, and 1,000 hours with a mentor. I am on my last 300 hours before I can submit my papers to sit for the IBCLC exam. I offer personalized breastfeeding assistance, including home visits, lactation consulting, as well as help with SNS systems and pumping. There's a shortage of breastfeeding help once you leave the hospital, and that's what I'm there for. I provide home visits to teach you to work with what you have in the environment that you're normally in to make sure you're as comfortable as possible in your breastfeeding relationship with your new baby. My name is Allie Wadsworth, and I'm a certified breastfeeding counselor. You can find me online at beehivebreastfeeding.com or facebook.com/beehivebreastfeeding.